Happy New Year's, peeps. T-Money up in the house. It is 11:30, December 31st, 2016. Got to get this in before the ball drops. So, sorry that it's late, but better than late than never, as I always say. Again, Happy New Year's. I hope you guys are having fun tonight. Be safe wherever you are, and don't drink and drive. The review I am going to cram in is one for Torture Porn Week, Schoolgirls in Chains, from 1977, I believe. Let's see, hold on one sec, bear with me. I'm sorry guys, it's 1977, and it is directed by Don Jones, who you guys might know from, I think Don Jones did, oh god, Don't Go in the Woods Alone, and a few others. And this film is kind of in the same vein as Psycho, rape revenge type film. Reminded me a lot of Mother's Day, Charlie Kaufman's Mother's Day, who was Lloyd Kaufman's brother. And yeah, I'm sorry, it's 1973, not 1977. And it's basically about two, I'll read you the synopsis. In a remote country house, a malevolent form of sleaze and terror is being bred. A crazy mother encourages her two sons, raving lunatic Frank, played by Gary Kent, and his not-all-there brother Johnny, to kidnap young women and chain them up in the basement. The girls are treated like animals and then subjected to games that grow increasingly sinister and depraved. When the brothers tire of their playthings, the girls must be replaced. This undiscovered exploitation classic is every bit as morally corrupt as you've heard. Directed by Don Jones, who also did The Forest, I'm sorry, not Don't Go in the Woods Alone, and another one that's slipping my mind, and shot by cinematographer Ron Garcia, Twin Peaks. Schoolgirls in Chains is an entertaining slice of early 70s sleaze, guaranteed to delight and disturb. And this edition here is new from Code Red, so if you're interested in checking the film out, it's actually the first time I had seen this. I'd go with this. The transfer was surprisingly good. What I liked about the film, I guess I'd say, well, first of all, this release, like I said, the picture quality is excellent, the sound is fine. The pluses of this film, I think there's a kind of like a creepy nursery rhyme soundtrack that's played in the beginning of the film and throughout. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the setting, the countryside, another farmhouse type, setting, rural setting. I enjoyed that. The acting was surprisingly good. The brother John, I think he plays like the handicapped, dumb brother or whatever, mentally challenged brother, was good. He was entertaining, fun to watch. And then you've got the other brother who's more of the stud, who lures the girls in. He knows how to drive, that sort of thing. He's kind of the man, whereas the other childlike brother is dumb childlike brother, plays with the girls and such. And all the while they're led by their psychopathic mother. It's really similar to Mother's Day. I'm not sure. I think this film actually came out first, so maybe we can credit this in inspiring Mother's Day. I'm not sure. Sorry about the picture quality too, guys. I can't seem to get it right in my room. The lighting's terrible. But yeah, overall I enjoyed it. It's kind of torture porn. I know that's the theme we were doing this week. Because there is torture and there is rape. There's a scene in the film where I think Frank forces himself on a woman. Not that we like that or anything, but it suits the theme of the week for that reason. Because there is mild torture as well. They kidnap the women and torture them in the basement, the ratty basement of their isolated farmhouse. So I'm going to keep it brief, guys. There's a really good synopsis I read in here. I will read you. Let's see. So it says, the term grindhouse gets bandied out a little too much these days, but Schoolgirls in Chains is the real deal. A sleazy, low-budget shocker aimed specifically at drawing in a crowd keen to see pure exploitation in this case, which is very true. Beautiful women abducted and abused by a pair of demented brothers who are raised by their sick mother to believe that all pretty young females are evil, when in fact it's only about 90% of them. That's just a joke, I think they're saying. Trapped in a grungy basement of a remote farmhouse, the captured women are kept as playthings for man-child John, whose over-enthusiastic approach to his depraved games often results in the toys being broken, i.e. the women are his toy things or whatever. So, where was I here? Consequently buried in the family's vegetable garden. Meanwhile, Big Brother Frank is kept on hand to to keep the ladies in control under the ever-watchful gaze of domineering, woman-hating mother played by Greta Gayland. And I'm sorry, Frank is the brother, he's Gary Kent is the actor's name, and Greta Gayland plays the mother, and John is actually played by John Stoglin. I don't know who any of these actors or actresses are, but when John's game of hide-and-go-seek with his latest toy, Sue, ends up with the gal receiving both barrels from Frank's shotgun, Mother agrees to the abduction of Bonnie, an attractive student who John has been spying on. After Bonnie goes missing, however, her lover, a professor, finds out and tries to find what becomes of her. With a dab of psychological drama, a soup-con of incest, a smidgen of rape, and let's see here, and a touch of torture, and a whole lot of grubby low-rent photography accompanied by a suitably discordant soundtrack. Schoolgirls in Chains achieves exactly what it sets out to, entertain its audience through a series of sensational and sordid scenes in which girls in Perel are subjected to all manner of horrors. So yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up in a nutshell. If you like this kind of film, Mother's Day really, really is what it reminds me of. I would highly recommend you check it out. Not really my forte, or my preference in, I don't really like this genre anyway, or subgenre of horror, but it's fun. It's campy, it's sleazy 70s trash, with decent acting and sexy ladies. Unfortunately, they are subjected to some nasty things. But all in all, I enjoy the film. I love the artwork on the cover here too. It's awesome. Check it out, Schoolgirls in Chains from 1973. Happy New Year's, guys. Be safe. Talk to you next week. Peace.